Africa. Joining us now to go in depth is retired U.S. Army General Paul Vallely. Paul, if I can call you that, sir, is currently the chairman of Stand Up America. Thanks for joining us here on America's Forum.
Hi, John.
All right, well, we'll stick with General for the time being. General, although reports are that our troops will not be dealing with patients per se, I wanted to get your thoughts because we're seeing some video now of these troops being deployed to West Africa to treat Ebola victims or participate somehow in that effort there. Is this the proper use of our military personnel?
No, I've said before, John, it's not proper use, and I think that with all the commitments we have overseas and in this current battle with ISIS, that the military needs to be focused on that. We have plenty of healthcare specialists in infectious diseases within our system and with other countries that have a capability. But they ought to be doing that work in regards to Ebola in Liberia.
Is this the president and his administration maybe trying too hard to create the military that I think the Obama administration wanted here? One that could be, not that it's not currently, but one could be more of a servant of good, providing support in these types of scenarios as opposed to wartime operations?
Well, it's sort of carried over from even back in the Bush days of this nation building, which should not be a mission of our armed forces. Our armed forces are to protect America and provide the security that's required, whether there's an external threat or internal threat. So based on that, we have to focus on keeping our military well-trained and well-equipped and focused. But there are certainly such drawbacks in the gutting of the military by this president and the administration, and the misuse of our military, as I would describe it.
All right, well, let's focus on some of those military actions taking place right now and look at Iraq and it's Syria. I believe you have some developing news for us on Kobani. I know you're in touch with folks who are on the ground there. What's the latest that you are hearing from Kobani at this time?
Well, there's two parts to the breaking news over the weekend. The first part is that evidently from some very good sources that I received out of the Middle East, that we have Turkey, the United States, Iran, and Saudi Arabia behind doors, basically allowing Kobani to fall because they want to lessen the influence of the Kurds, not only in northern Syria, but also in Kurdistan. And of course, they have a Baghdad first policy that all arms and equipment for the Peshmerga, for example, have to go through Baghdad. And of course, they're not advancing that equipment up into the Peshmerga area. So there's a lot of things going on behind closed doors here that are the detriment, of course, to the Kurds. The second part of the information we received, that there is a new head that has been put in by and approved by Turkey, named General Vallely, B-E-L-L-I. He's been put in charge of the Free Syrian Army, of what we call the moderate Syrian forces. But he's definitely a Muslim Brotherhood MB type of selection. And when I met the Muslim Brotherhood representative in Turkey a couple of years ago, I can tell you they're firmly established in Istanbul. They work out of there in Hatay province. So we have firmly Turkey backing the Muslim Brotherhood. But on the other hand, you have countries like Saudi Arabia that have outlawed the Muslim Brotherhood. But we can see a whole change of events of which the United States is involved in behind the scenes. Again, if this is so, then we have the White House supporting the Muslim Brotherhood, as they did in Egypt. So with that, we have a government that's culpable in working behind the scenes with terrorist organizations such as the MB or the Muslim Brotherhood. This is very devastating.
Well, General, I'm going to ask you to stick around. We got to step aside for a commercial break here in a second because I want to get more from you on what you're saying about the town of Kobani being allowed to fall, in effect, based on this behind the closed door meeting going on, and also what's going on with Turkey and the Muslim Brotherhood. This, as we know, Secretary of State John Kerry is in Egypt talking to the new president there, former General al-Sisi. Also some tension between the Muslim Brotherhood and the new government in Egypt as well. General Paul Vallely is going to stick around for us. We're going to talk more about what's going on right now in Kobani, behind closed doors, out in public, with the battle raging between Kurdish fighters and ISIS as well. Much more ahead here on America's Forum. We're just getting started. Please stick around with us. John Bachman in for J.D. Hayworth today. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.